I love Pokemon, so when we got news that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were coming, I was so hyped. I was absolutely loving Legends Arceus, and even though it had its flaws, I was really excited that Pokemon was pushing the envelope and going to make a truly open world game. They got help from Ilka to do Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and though I played those games, they didn't really scratch that Pokemon itch that I knew Game Freak would. Well, the games are out, and wow. Hello world and all who inhabit it, it is I, the Great Saiyaran, and I have been playing Pokemon for years, with Pokemon Yellow being my first real memory. Though there are some generations I skipped in high school and college, Gen 8 recaptured my love for the franchise, and playing Gen 7's Let's Go Pikachu reignited that nostalgia that I always knew I had. I had no idea that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu would be the best running and best looking Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch 4 years later. I've been playing Pokemon Violet and I'm about 15 hours in, and oh my god, this game is ugly, super glitchy, and has the frame rate of that sloth from Zootopia. Yeah, that slow. Now don't get me wrong, I am still having a lot of fun with this game. The open world is a breath of fresh air, the co-op is really smooth, and it's really cool how they implement it, and the Pokemon this generation are absolutely amazing. They're so unique that I've been chasing them down, not even completing the story, of which there are 3 separate parts, which I think ended up being a really nice touch. As of recording, the game is in a horrible state, and I understand how it happened, but it doesn't excuse that it actually did happen. This is such a big deal that it's been trending on Twitter all weekend. At first, people blame the Switch, and Switch 2 and Switch Pro trending, and then people blame the developer Game Freak and call them lazy and other colorful names I will not repeat on this channel. But there actually are a few elements that went into this game: the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and the Nintendo Switch. Regardless of which I think is solely to blame, I think they all had a hand in this disappointment. Pokemon is on a 3-year cycle. That means that every 3 years or so they make a new Pokemon generation. New anime, new movies, new merchandise, new cards, and a new game, which is the one that takes the most time. They're on a tight schedule because that's how they stay relevant, make money, and continue to be Pokemon. They are the world's most valuable intellectual property, grossing over $90 billion in lifetime revenue. For context, that's $20 billion more than Mickey Mouse. And it's all because of that 3-year turnaround, a turnaround that worked great for the Game Boy and DS era, but as we begin to step into this 3D world, it might need to be tweaked. Game Freak doesn't have the time to develop, so you think that they'd ask an outside studio for a little bit of help. One who has more experience building a large open world on the Nintendo Switch and could take over for them, or could lend a hand and build the world while Game Freak stayed true to the Pokemon, the designs, and the balancing of the game. Game Freak only makes Pokemon. The other games don't sell nearly as much, so if they're not making Pokemon, they're not making any money. And that's why they don't want outside help. The Pokemon Company is owned by 3 companies: Nintendo, Creatures, and Game Freak. They have done Pokemon for over 2 decades, and even though they've tried other games, nothing has stuck quite like Pokemon. They don't want to be replaced, and since they own a third of the company, they don't have to be. The Nintendo Switch itself can be infamously difficult to develop on. Yes, we have these miracle ports, but when you actually look at developer interviews and when they talk about developing for the Nintendo Switch, it's always some sort of hassle. While I do think we need better Switch hardware, I don't think that's the reason that Scarlet and Violet are in the state that they're in. The Nintendo Switch is more than capable of running a game like Scarlet and Violet. It's when you step back and realize that out of the 3, the Nintendo Switch is the one that's most likely to change, evolve, and grow. Pokemon's 3-year cycle carries more than just a game, so they're not going to get rid of it just because a game came out a little buggy. Game Freak isn't tagging out for another developer. If they're not making Pokemon, they're not making money. Though they should at least lean on another studio to help them make these games, the Nintendo Switch is the one that's most likely to change, so maybe a device with better performance and more memory could make a game like this run better. Though at this point, I don't have any faith in Game Freak or their extreme timeline. The time crunch is real. The DLC for these games has already been discovered in the code, so they have been working very hard to get this game out. They just needed a little bit more time. And honestly, I'd rather them give us a 3rd game that's more polished than give us DLC to an already buggy game. I played this game docked initially and it was absolutely horrible, but once I moved to handheld, things ran a bit more smoothly. I don't know exactly what that means, but I planned on playing this game on the couch in handheld mode anyway. It's not all doom and gloom though. I'm actually enjoying these games. Violet is fun because of the new Pokemon, the open world and different paths to take, and the co-op. I streamed it day 1 on this channel and had fun with chat and one of my buddies just running around chasing mine. The Pokemon this generation are so creative and fun looking. It's really hard to choose a team of 6. I decided that I wouldn't use any returning Pokemon, so I've been finding all the new ones and rotating out who I need and who looks the cutest. I also really like their names. Every Pokemon announcement video has had amazing looking Pokemon, and they're just that much better when you actually play the game and realize that Pokemon kept the vast majority of these a secret. My favorites on my team being Frogger the Bellibolt, Zero the Charcadet, and Mr. Quackers, the Quackleval. I'm not sure I've ever even used half the types on my team in a playthrough before. The game really pushes you to experiment. After a hefty amount of dialogue, the game really opens up and you can go anywhere. I immediately ran off and caught like 70 mons, then went into a Titan battle to upgrade my ride Pokemon, and then hit a few gym challenges up. I've been trying to evolve my Charcadet for the past 5 hours in game, and I keep getting distracted. I know exactly where I have to go and what I have to do, but since it's a new area, I have to ride all the way there. That means every time I pass a new Pokemon or a Titan challenge or a gym battle or even a team starbase, I stop and I complete that task, inevitably delaying the evolution of one of my favorite looking Pokemon. Sorry, Zero. I'm liking these gym challenges way more than Sword and Shield. I felt like in those games, they really gave up halfway through the mini games that the gyms were doing. It was like by the 4th or 5th gym, they just gave up and went back to the traditional walk into the gym, battle everyone you see, and get your badge. I have 3 badges in Violet, and you can challenge the gyms in any order you please, so it seems like they're not gonna randomly fall off and stop doing the really cool mini games that they've introduced. The team star bases and Titan boss battles are really cool too. They can definitely be challenging but also rewarding in their own right. The open world, though not polished, is a great first attempt by Game Freak. The market system, the way you can go anywhere, even how you get notifications on the top right when you do something that keeps the gameplay going. There's not a speech bubble for every task, so you can use the Let's Go feature and let your Pokemon auto battle 10 times and it doesn't stop the gameplay. Even when I'm in a battle or capturing a Pokemon, I can't focus because the background and world around me keeps going. Nothing stops and it really keeps me immersed in the game. You just keep going. Co-op is one of my favorite parts. You can see everything your partner is doing, like battling or catching a Mon while in the same overworld as you. I just think that's so cool in a Pokemon game, especially since they were very vague about how the multiplayer will work up until launch. Even quality of life features like remembering a move straight from the menu instead of going to a specific place or using a specific item like you used to in the past. And things like auto healing and having your ride Pokemon from the beginning keeps the game at a pretty good pace. I also love that Miraidon can jump and glide and do all these cool things. It is just awesome. It's just sad that a game, let alone a Pokemon game, is this fun and refreshing but stained by such poor performance. We're hoping Game Freak will patch this game and fix what people are assuming is a memory leak issue, but it's causing heavy stutters, frame drops, and even straight up crashes for me. I am a huge Pokemon fan, but even I can admit this is a horrible experience overshadowing really fun and intuitive core gameplay. I think Cheesy Blue Nips on Twitter said it best. Yes, that's his name, don't at me. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is a glitchy, unfinished, unoptimized, ugly mess hiding one of the best designed games in the series. Behind the veneer of knowing the devs weren't given enough time to fully polish it, this is the most interesting Pokemon game they've made since Black and White. Facts. I don't know if I can recommend this game, but Pokemon is either an instant buy or a total ignorance for most people. So I don't know how much you're gonna heed my recommendation. I'm a huge Pokemon fan and I am loving this game. I just wish it played better. Regardless of what we nerds think, the general public is going to eat this game up. By the end of this week, we'll see that this game has sold millions and millions of copies. At the time of recording, it has double the viewers on Twitch than the brand new and free-to-play Call of Duty Warzone 2.0. Pokemon is a powerhouse and there's not much we can do besides either enjoy it for what it is or stop supporting altogether. Choose your side because I've obviously chosen mine. Are you enjoying Pokemon Violet? Let me know down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Quaxley Supremacy.